So, what would happen if we stopped eating carbs? Would we die? Well, if you stick with me through this video, we're going to find out. So, I want to address one of the reasons why people believe that we need carbs. It has been a long time believed that carbs are essential because carbs turn into glucose in our bodies, which our red blood cells need to thrive. And some even still believe to this day that our brains need glucose. But that's another topic. Our liver, however, one of its jobs is to create glucose for us through the process called glucogenesis. Gluco meaning glucose and genesis meaning new. And you know what? Our liver is really good at its job. And so when we're eating carbs, we're giving ourselves glucose and our liver is making glucose. And it doesn't stop just because you're giving it because it's hardcore. It's not going to stop doing its job. So what happens? We get an abundance of glucose in our system and we get sick. All right. So do yourself a favor, lay off the carbs and let your liver do its job. It's very happy to take care of that demand for us. People believe that, without carbs, we won't have enough energy to even function. But I've been eating a ketogenic lifestyle for about a year and a half now. And don't you think if we needed carbs, that I would be hospitalized by now or even kick the bucket? Because let me tell you something. Since going carnivore, the most carbs I might have a day may be a total of 5 or 6 carbs. So if I really needed carbs, I would not be doing very well at all. And I can tell you right now that a year and a half ago, I was nearly 300 pounds, full blown diabetic. And God forbid I had to park far away from the entrance of a store in a parking lot because that would mean I'd have to walk an extra, 200 feet? And as bad as that sounds, it was miserable for me. I was fat, sick, and it didn't feel good at all. Today, I enjoy walking. In fact, I've been incorporating sprints into my exercise routine. I have a lot more energy now than I did a year and a half ago because I'm healthier. I took the carbs out and I focused on the essential nutrients that we need, fat and protein. Okay. But I'm not a doctor and your health is super important. So I understand that you have a little reservation. So I have put together a clip from a few different doctors to see what they say. And I have also included the link to each video that I got the clips from so that if you want to, you can watch the video in its entirety. But these clips are not very long at all, but let's see what these doctors have to say.
Wrong, and you're the scientist. I'm just a humble businessman trying to learn all this stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. The human requirement for carbohydrates is 0. I mean, you could live a real healthy, probably even healthier life with 0 carbohydrates in your diet. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, but you're kicking a porcupine by saying that, but it's absolutely true. I mean, once again, thankfully, as a scientist, I don't have to worry about dogma, neither dogma nor cultural pressure. But you stated it perfectly accurate. As much as people don't want to admit it, even the most dogmatic dietitian has to admit very reluctantly that there is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate.
Now, what about carbs and sugars and starches? Which ones of those are essential? None of them. There is no such thing as an essential sugar. There is no such thing as an essential starch. There is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate, whether simple or whether complex or whether slow or any other kind of adjective you can put before your carb. There's no essential carb. There just isn't one.
So many supposedly credible sources of health information repeatedly insist that carbohydrates are an essential part of the human diet, and they're all wrong.
Well, there you have it, guys. Dr. Benjamin Bickman, Dr. Ken Berry, and Dr. Dan Maggs all seem to agree that carbs are not essential. We don't need them. So, if you have not began your ketogenic lifestyle because you've been worried about the elimination of carbs, now you know that the need for carbs is a myth. And I'm just here to help X out any misconceptions that there are so that you don't have to be afraid. Get started on this ketogenic lifestyle. Get healthy. Be encouraged. Well, friends, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.